So guys, you've opened your investing app and you're wondering what all these charts and all these graphs mean. Today, I'm going to show you how to understand the charts on investing just like a beginner. All right, let's get right into it. So I'd like you to open your browser and type Yahoo Finance. So we're going to use this platform for illustration today. Alright, so we're going to select a random stock for the purpose of this illustration, and I'm just going to use Nvidia, or let me use Apple. Right, so I'm just going to use Apple over here. So just search for Apple. So I'm just going to run you through some common terminologies you might come across in investing, and then hopefully we're going to get better understanding after today. Okay, so on this screen you have these buttons right here. So this is just what they call technical analysis. So it shows us a chart of the stock performance over time. So this shows 1 day, 5 days, 1 month, and then year to date. Year to date simply means from January till date. Okay, so if you want to get like the current news happening around the stock, you want to look at the 1 month chart. So it tells you that at some point in October of this year, 10th, Apple stock was around 245 right there, and then up until this date on the right hand side, as you can see, it's moved up to $268 right there. So that gives you a bit of sense of the history of the stock, right? You want to look at the year to date. You want to see, okay, from January to date, how has the stock performed? So if you look here, a bit of up and down movement. So if you look down here, it says that in April the stock was 172. So but if you want to really look at the trend over time and how the stock has went through several cycles, you want to look at the 1 year chart. Okay, so this gives you a sense of if it's an upward trend, if it's a downward trend, and this is just a basic chart of the movements, and it tells you that in the past 1 year it's done about 20%. But if you want to look at the growth over a period of time, and for beginners, this is what I think you should be looking at. So in the past 5 years, because I'm always an advocate of buying and holding for the long time, right? So you see that in the past 5 years there's been an upward trend. Let's say 5 years ago it was at around $114 right there. Okay, so it gives you a sense of the trend over a longer period of time, and then you start making investment decision on, buy or no buy decision from there. Okay, so let's look at a bit of these indices under here. So it tells you that the previous close was 270. The previous open, that means the price at which it opened yesterday, was $270.42. So the bid price and the ask price tells you what people are willing to pay for this stock and what people are willing to sell for the stock as well. Okay, so the days average for yesterday is about 262 on the lower end, and then $270 on the upside. So it kind of gives you a sense of how volatile the stock is. And on a wider range, you want to look at the 52 weeks range, and that shows you like average range within the past 52 weeks, the past 1 year, on the upside and the lower side also. Right, so the volume tells you how many people are buying and selling this stock on the average in a daily basis. So this tells you the average volume people bought and sold this stock yesterday. All right, and the average volume tells you on an average day the stock trades at about 53 million. So if you see 48, that tells you that it's trading a bit below the average volume it usually trades on a daily basis. Okay, and the market cap tells you the total outstanding stock multiplied by the share price. That gives you the value of the company. Now this beta tells you how volatile the stock is. An average of about $1 tells you that it's not so volatile. It tells you that it's as volatile as the S&P 500. In other words, the stock is stable, but it's above 1. It tells you that it's a bit on the volatile side. Okay, so the PE ratio, I'm not going to pay much attention to that. That's the price to earnings ratio. And for beginners, you don't want to look at that a lot, but you can also do your research and look at it if you feel like. So earnings per share ratio tells you how much the shareholders earn for every share they hold. That's not something we're going to pay much attention to today. And then the earnings date tells you the day they're going to declare their earnings, right? So it tells you the day they're going to report, and stocks usually move around the earnings date. So that's something you want to keep in mind. All right, so the forward dividend yield tells you how much dividend they pay to their stockholders. Again, then you have other indices over there. The 1 year target tells you, maybe gives you an idea of what analysts think will be the target in the next 1 year. All right, so that's in a nutshell summarizes what you have under here under this chart, and we've also covered what this technical analysis, the chart means. So if you're interested in the ownership of the company, you want to come over to profile over here. So you see the key executives, you see that Tim Cook is still the CEO, you want to see people on the board of director of the company, right? So you have all that information. So you want to look at the financials, so you want to see the performance over time. All right, so the other thing I always like to look at are the holders, right? Who are the companies that hold this share? Right, so I can't really vouch 100% how accurate this data is, but just to give you a sense of the information you can find on this sheet. So it tells you here that 1.98% are held by insiders, right? While you have about 63.91% held by institutional investors, right? So if you see a high percentage of institutional investors holding a stock, yeah, it might just tell you how confident institutional investors are to hold that share, right? So it's not an outright indicator to buy or sell. I mean, the outright indicator, of course, is for you to do your research and make a buy decision, right? But it gives you a sense that, hey, institutional investors are interested in this share. That means there's something they are seeing that is making them 63% of the shares are held by institutional investors. Over here, it tells you the top institutional investors, the top 10, and you can see some heavy companies right there. You have Vanguard, BlackRock. These are guys that have huge assets under management for many investors. And you see that Vanguard is the top investor. I always like to see these two guys at the top of the chart right there, including State Street as well. A very good one. And then you have Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company right there, and then you have a couple of banks holding the share. It tells you that a lot of these institutional investors have confidence in the stock, and then you begin to do your research and expand on that research. And of course, you have some mutual funds also being huge investors in the company Apple, right? So you see huge values they are invested in this company, but you want to also take a time to verify those values right there. So yes, so we're not going to take much time on this episode today. So basically over here you have the share price. This tells you what one share of Apple costs, right? So the percentage here shows, has it gone down or has it gone up? And of course over here you have the chart showing the movement over a period of time. It shows you the trend of the stock, and that's all you find on this screen. Okay, but I mean, it's free. Yahoo Finance, the free version, has a lot of information right there, and that's in a nutshell is how you can read a stock. And so when you read the stock, you know the upside, you see the downside if you see that the stock is down. Yes, so you always want to buy the dip at all times, but if you're not confident investing or waiting for the dip or timing the market, there's a saying there that you always want to do dollar cost averaging. In my other videos, I showed you how to open accounts on brokerage apps. Feel free to check out those videos, and that's all we have for you today. And happy investing. Share this with a friend that might want to watch it. Okay, bye for now.